Just because the calendar says you're over 60 doesn't mean your sailing days are behind you. In fact, for many of us, this chapter is when the real adventure begins. The kids are grown, the career's in the rear view, and the open water is calling louder than ever. Now here's the thing. If you're planning to sail solo at this stage in life, choosing the right boat makes all the difference. You want something dependable, comfortable, and easy to manage without needing a crew of young bucks to help you trim the sails. So, whether you're dreaming of coastal cruising, living aboard, or even crossing oceans on your own terms, this list is built just for you. From pocket cruisers to rugged offshore veterans, here are the 20 best boats for men over 60 who want to sail solo. Let's dive in. The Flicka 20 is proof that big adventures can come in small packages. This little full-keel cruiser is just under 24 feet long, but she punches way above her weight when it comes to seaworthiness. Designed with a traditional charm and a surprising amount of interior space, the Flicka feels more like a cozy cabin than a cramped sailboat. For solo sailors over 60, she's a dream. Simple systems, strong build, and a gentle, predictable motion at sea. Handling is where the Flicka shines. She's slow, sure, but slow means forgiving. You won't get bounced around like on a featherweight racer. Reefing early keeps her happy, and her full keel and sturdy rig make her track straight even when conditions get a bit rough. She's also got a reputation for surviving blue water crossings. Some have even made it across the Pacific. Inside, you've got standing headroom, barely, a galley, a head, and a berth that's actually comfortable for someone over 6 feet tall. It's like camping with a view, only your backyard changes every day. If you're after quiet, self-reliant cruising and don't mind taking your time, the Flicka 20 could be your ideal companion for this next chapter on the water. If ease of handling is at the top of your wish list, the Nonsuch 26 should be right there at the top. This cat-rigged sailboat has no head sail, just one big mainsail controlled entirely from the cockpit. That means no trips to the foredeck, no jib sheets to manage, and no winching in heavy sails when the wind kicks up. For sailors over 60, especially those with aging joints or limited mobility, that's a game changer. She's got a wide beam and a high freeboard, giving the Nonsuch a surprising amount of interior space. Stepping below, it almost feels like you're on a 30-footer. There's plenty of room to move around without bumping into things, which matters more as we age. The cockpit is roomy and safe, perfect for lounging, handling lines, or simply enjoying a sunset at anchor. Performance-wise, the Nonsuch 26 isn't a racer, but she's steady, responsive, and surprisingly quick off the wind. With a well-balanced helm and that simple rig, she's one of the most stress-free boats you can sail solo. If you're looking for comfort, ease, and the ability to cruise confidently well into your golden years, the Nonsuch 26 might just be the ticket. The Ericson 32.3 is one of those rare boats that gives you a real sense of performance and comfort in one tidy package. For older solo sailors, she's a smart pick, big enough to stretch out yet still manageable enough to handle alone. On deck, everything feels right where it should be. With well-placed winches, a sensible cockpit layout, and a light helm, she's not going to wear you out, even on a long day's sail. Under sail, she's got pep. You won't be left behind if you're sailing in company, and even when single-handing, the boat responds well to subtle inputs. Reef early if you're out in stronger wind. She's lively, but she behaves beautifully with the right balance. Down below, you get a spacious saloon, a decent galley, and a berth that won't make your back complain. She's especially well-suited for protected waters like bays or inland seas, but many have comfortably cruised the coast in her too. At around 32 feet, she also hits that sweet spot for marina costs and haul-outs. If you're after a boat that feels spry without being a handful, the Ericson 32.3 offers a graceful and enjoyable ride. The Tufglass 33 might not be a household name, but for the salty old sailors who know her, she's a quiet legend. Built tough in the late 70s, she's a heavy displacement cruiser designed for blue water sailing. If your dreams include ocean passages or long-haul solitude under sail, this boat deserves your attention. At 33 feet, she's big enough to carry everything you need, but not so large that she becomes a burden. Her motion at sea is what older sailors often fall in love with. Stable, solid, and confidence-inspiring. She doesn't dance in a chop or slam like a lighter boat. For someone over 60, that gentle motion solution can mean less fatigue, fewer bruises, and a much more pleasant experience overall. With a proper setup, self-tailing winches, roller furling, and lines led aft, she's entirely doable solo. Inside, the Tufglass is classic. Plenty of wood, a warm layout, and lots of storage. Some might call it old-fashioned, but for those of us who remember what boats used to feel like, that's a compliment. She's a cruiser for people who care more about the journey than the destination, and who want a boat that can carry them safely wherever the wind may blow. If balance and comfort are top of mind, and they probably are after 60, the Heavenly Twins Catamaran is worth a close look. Built with simplicity and practicality in mind, she's a small cruising cat that's surprisingly capable. While she's no racer, she offers a rock-solid platform for solo sailors who want to stay safe, dry, and comfortable. With twin hulls, you get incredible stability. No more rolling around in your berth or spilling your coffee underway. That makes life on board less tiring and more enjoyable, especially if you're dealing with arthritis, sore knees, or just want a calmer ride. Her shallow draft also opens up all sorts of anchorages that deeper boats can't access, and you'll love the peace that comes with that. Handling is easy, the rig is simple, and many owners set them up with all controls in the cockpit. She tracks well under autopilot, and motoring into tight spaces with twin engines, or even just one well-placed motor, is a breeze. Inside, she's not luxurious, but practical and comfortable. A good galley, sleeping space, and a dry place to read and relax after a day at sea. If you want peace, simplicity, and space, this boat delivers. The Pearson 424 is one of those boats that seems to just keep showing up in stories from sailors who've gone the distance. At 42 feet, she's on the larger side for solo sailing, especially for someone over 60, but don't let the size scare you off. What makes this boat shine is her forgiving motion, solid construction, and ability to carry all the comforts of home. If you set her up right, with roller furling, electric winches, and an autopilot, you'll find she can be managed by one person without too much fuss. She's got a center cockpit, which many older sailors appreciate for its dry ride and security underway. Down below, you'll find 2 cabins, 2 heads, and enough room to spread out. Perfect if you're living aboard or planning longer cruises. That aft cabin with a private head, that's gold at this stage of life. While not the fastest boat around, the Pearson 424 will carry you steadily and safely just about anywhere, and she's built like a tank. For a retiree looking to live the dream on the water without giving up comfort, she's hard to beat. Just make sure you've got her rigged for solo work, and she'll take good care of you. The Allied 36 Ketch is a salty, no-nonsense blue water cruiser that's built to go the distance. If you're a solo sailor over 60 who values safety and a steady ride more than speed, this boat is a solid choice. The Ketch rig gives you a flexible sail plan, especially helpful when the wind pipes up or when you just want to take things slow and easy. It spreads out the canvas, keeps the sail sizes manageable, and lets you balance the boat beautifully. What really makes her shine is her sea-kindly motion. She doesn't slam, she doesn't dart, she glides. That's a blessing on long passages and means you'll feel less beat up after a few days offshore. She's heavy, yes, but that weight is what gives her such a calm presence when the weather turns nasty. Down below, you get the charm of older boat interiors, rich wood, solid cabinetry, and a layout that makes sense for real cruising. There's enough space for a comfortable life afloat, whether you're coastal cruising or heading far offshore. Add some modern gear like a windlass, autopilot, and maybe some solar, and the Allied 36 Ketch turns into a reliable partner for years of solo sailing ahead. Not many people talk about the Challenger 32, and that's a shame. This is a boat that's quietly earned the respect of solo sailors who've been around the block a few times. She's built tough, sails steady, and offers just the right balance of size and simplicity for someone who wants to keep things manageable but not cramped. At 32 feet, she's big enough to feel safe and stable offshore, yet small enough to handle without feeling overwhelmed. You can reef her early, she tracks well, and if you've got your lines led aft, most tasks can be done without ever leaving the cockpit. That's a huge win when your knees or balance aren't what they used to be. The layout inside is basic but functional, nothing fancy, but everything you need. A galley that works, a head with enough room to move, and a berth you'll actually sleep well in. She's a workhorse, not a showpiece, and that's exactly what what a lot of older solo sailors are after, the Challenger. 32 isn't loud or flashy, but she'll quietly carry you where you want to go, with minimal fuss and maximum reliability. The Albin Viggen is a Swedish-built pocket cruiser that's perfect for solo sailors who want something simple, affordable, and easy to maintain. At just under 21 feet, she's on the smaller end of the spectrum, but don't let that fool you. She's surprisingly capable for her size, and she's been a go-to for European sailors sneaking into tight marinas, canals, and cozy anchorages. She's got a distinctive Scandinavian charm, clean lines, efficient use of space, and a tough fiberglass hull that can take some knocks. The rig is simple, usually a sloop, and everything is within arm's reach when you're sailing solo. Add a small autopilot or a tiller clutch and you've got yourself a surprisingly capable little cruiser for local sailing or short coastal hops. Inside, she's snug but smartly laid out. A small galley, a couple of berths, and enough shelter to make a weekend aboard totally comfortable. For an older sailor looking to keep things low-key and low-cost, the Albin Viggen offers a great balance. She's not built for crossing oceans, but she'll give you all the joy of the sailing life in a compact, easy-to-handle package. Don't let the name fool you. The Magnifik Midget may be small, but she's got a lot of heart. Built in Sweden, this little cruiser is typically under 20 feet, making her incredibly affordable to buy, dock, and maintain. For older solo sailors who are looking for a no-nonsense day sailor or weekender, the Midget is a brilliant little companion. She's designed for inland lakes, canals, and protected coastal areas, perfect for the sailor who's more interested in peace and quiet than pounding through blue water. Her shallow draft means you can explore tucked-away anchorages or cruise canals with ease, and she's light enough that many owners even trailer her, opening up a whole world of travel possibilities without ever leaving land. Sailing her solo is a breeze. The rig is basic, and everything can be reached from the small cockpit. With an outboard or electric motor mounted on the transom, she's easy to maneuver in and out of tight spaces. The interior is, as you'd expect, minimal, but for a night or two aboard, she's more than enough. For those over 60 looking to downsize into something simple, reliable, and just plain fun, the Magnifik Midget might be the most joyful little escape pod you can find. The Cape Dory 28 is a beloved classic among sailors who appreciate traditional lines, full keels, and bulletproof construction. For solo sailors over 60, this boat strikes a perfect balance, not too big to handle alone, not too small to feel limited. She's a full keel cruiser, which means she tracks like she's on rails and forgives a lot of mistakes, a comfort if your reflexes aren't quite what they used to be. At 28 feet, she offers just enough interior space to be comfortable without becoming a project to maintain. The layout is simple and practical, with a cozy V-berth, a galley that does the job, and a saloon that feels welcoming rather than cramped. The cockpit is deep and safe, and the tiller steering keeps things straightforward. She's not fast, but she's steady, and that's exactly what many solo sailors are looking for. Reef early, sail smart, and she'll take care of you in just about any weather. If you're looking for a boat with charm, strength, and a calm temperament at sea, the Cape Dory 28 is one that'll keep you sailing confidently into your golden years. The Triton is a true icon of American fiberglass boat building, and even decades after her debut, she still stands tall as a rugged, reliable cruiser. At 28.5 feet, she's a manageable size for solo sailors over 60, especially those who want something time-tested and seaworthy. Her full keel and solid layup give her the kind of motion that inspires confidence, especially in rougher seas. She's not a boat built for speed, but she'll carry you safely and steadily wherever you choose to go. Countless Tritons have made blue water crossings, and many are still out there doing it today. Her cockpit is roomy and deep, with simple sail controls that make solo sailing feel relaxed rather than rushed. Below decks, the layout is no frills but entirely functional. A V-berth forward, settees to port and starboard, a compact galley, and a traditional marine head give you everything you need and nothing you don't. You won't feel cramped, but you'll also appreciate the lack of unnecessary complexity. If you're an older sailor looking for a dependable, honest boat that you can sail with confidence and maintain without headaches, the Triton is a solid companion for solo adventures. The Alberg 30 has long been a favorite among traditionalists, and for good reason. Designed for offshore sailing with a full keel and narrow beam, she's a serious cruiser that doesn't shy away from big water. For older solo sailors, she offers an unmatched blend of strength, simplicity, and graceful motion, qualities that become even more important as we get older. At 30 feet, she gives you the space you need without demanding too much in return. Many owners have sailed her alone across oceans, and she's equally comfortable tucked into a quiet cove or exploring coastal waters. With the right setup, roller furling, self-tailing winches, and an autopilot, she becomes very manageable for single-handing. Her long overhangs and deep cockpit make her feel safe and steady underway, and her helm is responsive without being twitchy. Below, the cabin is warm and traditional, with plenty of woodwork and a sense of purpose. You won't find sprawling spaces, but everything is where it should be, and it works. For a sailor over 60 who values timeless design, proven performance, and a boat that looks just as good at anchor as she sails, the Alberg 30 delivers on all fronts. The Sea Sprite 28 is one of those boats that just feels right the moment you step aboard. She's known for her classic lines, full keel, and rock-solid build. For solo sailors over 60, she checks all the boxes: simple rig, stable ride, and a cockpit that feels safe and secure even when the wind picks up. She's not flashy, but she's elegant. Her moderate displacement and long keel give her a calm, steady gait at sea. Less bouncing, more gliding. That means you arrive at your anchorage without feeling like you've gone a few rounds with the ocean. For older sailors, that kind of comfort can't be overstated. Inside, you'll find a cozy but functional layout. There's a decent galley, a V-berth, a couple of settees, and a real sense of charm. She feels like a sailor's boat, not a floating condo, and that's part of her appeal. With proper sail handling gear and maybe an autopilot or wind vane, she's a wonderful solo cruiser. If you're looking for a boat that lets you slow down, enjoy the journey, and sail with confidence into your later years, the Sea Sprite 28 is a faithful, beautiful companion. The Oceanic 30 Catamaran is a bit of a hidden gem, especially for older sailors looking for stability, simplicity, and comfort. At 30 feet, she's not intimidating, and thanks to the twin-hull design, you get a stable, flat ride that makes a huge difference when your knees and hips don't love the idea of a heeling monohull anymore. She's a lightweight, low-profile cruising cat that's proven herself on long solo voyages, including full circumnavigations in the right hands. While she's not a speedster, she's steady and reliable, and her shallow draft opens up all kinds of quiet anchorages others can't reach. Stepping aboard, you'll find wide, flat decks that are easy to move around, especially helpful when mobility starts to become a concern. Down below, the living space is split between the two hulls and a center bridge deck area, offering plenty of privacy and practical space without feeling cramped. For a solo sailor over 60, the Oceanic 30 is about comfort, safety, and ease. Add in solar power, modern nav gear, and maybe an electric winch, and you've got yourself a smart, stable floating home that's ready to cruise, whether it's a weekend getaway or the long trip you've always dreamed of. The Dana 24 is a compact cruiser that has earned a big reputation among solo sailors, and for good reason. Built with the kind of strength and attention to detail you rarely see in boats under 30 feet, she's perfect for men over 60 who want to sail alone with confidence and comfort. At just 24 feet, the Dana might sound small on paper, but once you step aboard, you'll feel like you've entered a much bigger boat. She's got a full keel, a cutter rig, and a strong, stable feel underfoot. Sailing her solo is easy with the right setup. Many come with self-tailing winches and all lines led to the cockpit. She tracks beautifully and doesn't get easily knocked around by chop or gusts, which means you stay comfortable and relaxed, even in challenging conditions. Below deck, the Dana surprises with headroom, a full galley, a marine head, and enough storage for extended cruising. The craftsmanship inside is warm and welcoming, with plenty of teak and thoughtful details. Whether you're heading out for a weekend or a few months, she's ready for the job. For older sailors who want capability without the complexity, the Dana 24 is a rock-solid choice. The Vancouver 27 is one of those boats built for serious cruising in a small, manageable package. Designed with offshore sailing in mind, she's a full-keel, heavy-displacement cruiser that feels bigger than her size suggests. For solo sailors over 60, she offers tremendous peace of mind, stable, forgiving, and capable of handling tough weather with quiet strength. At 27 feet, she hits a sweet spot, big enough to cross oceans, small enough to sail alone. She's often described as all boat, no wasted space, no fluff, just practical proven design meant for people who want to go the distance. With a tiller or wheel and a simple cutter rig, she can be easily managed by one person, and her strong directional stability means she'll hold course even when you're resting or down below. Inside, you'll find a warm, compact interior with a surprising amount of storage. The layout is traditional and efficient, with a full galley, chart table, V-berth, and quarter berth. Nothing extravagant, just what you need, where you need it. For older sailors looking for a boat that doesn't need babying and inspires confidence at sea, the Vancouver 27 is a serious, salty cruiser that can take you wherever your dreams lead. The Contessa 26 is a legendary little cruiser with a big blue water reputation. Famous for her seaworthiness and toughness, she's been around the world more than once in the hands of determined solo sailors. If you're over 60 and looking for a small, affordable boat that can truly go the distance, the Contessa might just be your match. She's narrow, deep, and full-keeled, which gives her that old-school, go-anywhere feel. Under sail, she's steady and predictable, especially when reefed early, and that matters when you're sailing alone. Her size means every line is within reach, and once you get her dialed in, she practically sails herself. She's also famously good in heavy weather, with many sailors swearing by her behavior in storms. The cabin is small, no doubt about it, but it's functional. There's a galley, a couple of bunks, a head tucked under the V-berth, and enough space for a solo sailor to cruise in comfort. She's not for entertaining or showing off. She's for doing the real thing. For older sailors who care more about the journey than the destination, and who want a boat they can trust when the chips are down, the Contessa 26 is a true classic. The Pacific Seacraft. Orion 27 is often described as a little big boat, and for good reason. Though she measures under 30 feet, she has the presence, capability, and comfort of a much larger cruiser. For men over 60 who want to sail solo without giving up the safety of a full-keel, ocean-capable vessel, the Orion 27 is a standout. She's beautifully built, with traditional lines and serious offshore chops. You get a full keel, cutter rig, and a heavy displacement that gives her a smooth and steady ride in a variety of conditions. With a proper sail plan and lines led aft, she's completely manageable by one person, even when the breeze picks up. Below deck, the Orion is impressively laid out. There's standing headroom, a full galley, a comfortable saloon, and plenty of storage. The quality of the joinery and finish is top-notch, giving her a warm, inviting feel that makes longer stays aboard a real pleasure. Whether you're dreaming of distant islands or just want a boat that will look after you as well as you look after it, the Pacific Seacraft Orion 27 offers serious reliability in a solo-friendly size. She's a classic choice for the thoughtful older sailor. The Com-Pac 23 is a charming little cruiser built for easy, relaxed sailing. For solo sailors over 60, she's a fantastic option if you're looking for a low-maintenance, shallow-draft boat that's simple to handle and surprisingly comfortable. She's not built for blue water, but for coastal cruising, lake sailing, or canal hopping, she's hard to beat. At 23 feet, she's towable with the right vehicle, which means you're not stuck in one sailing ground. Launch her at a lake in the mountains one week, then explore the coast the next. Her shoal draft keel allows you to sneak into quiet anchorages and thin water gunk holes that deeper boats can't reach. The rig is uncomplicated and easy to manage single-handed, and many owners install a boom vang and roller furling to make life even easier. Her cockpit is generous for her size, and the tiller steering gives you great feedback and a close connection with the boat. Inside, she's small but thoughtfully laid out, with a small galley, berth space, and room for a porta-potty. If your idea of sailing in your 60s and beyond involves less stress and more sunsets, the Com-Pac 23 might be the perfect little escape pod. Sailing solo after 60 isn't just possible, it might be the most rewarding time of your sailing life. By this stage, you've got the experience, the patience, and hopefully the freedom to go at your own pace, on your own terms. And with the right boat under you, there's nothing holding you back. The 20 boats on this list were chosen with real-world sailing in mind. Boats that don't overwhelm, don't demand acrobatics, and don't punish you for slowing things down. Whether you're dreaming of crossing oceans, exploring quiet bays, or just enjoying peaceful mornings at anchor, there's a boat here that fits your vision. The key is finding the one that feels like yours, one that matches your style, your pace, and your plans. Spend time aboard, talk to other owners, and don't rush the decision, because once you find her, That boat becomes more than just fiberglass and sails. She becomes your companion, your shelter, and your ticket to freedom. So if the call of the sea is still in your blood, answer it. Age doesn't close doors, it opens different ones. You're not done sailing, not even close.